What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about KASPA today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. This one's at the request of Thomas Keefe. Thomas, I actually didn't see your request, but I'm sure that you have requested this, and I think of you whenever I see this. I don't know if it's Keefe or Keefe. I say Keefe. I'm from Colorado, so that's. Anyways, from a high to a low. If nobody gets that reference, don't even worry about it. High to low. I thought that was clever, right? Keefe, Colorado. It's a Colorado thing. I don't know. It could be a California thing, maybe. High to low, rejecting the 382, you guys. It's not a good look. Odds are you are going lower. I will say what's rather decent about this overall move is that recently Bitcoin, it dropped lower. Yesterday, it dropped lower than what it had seen in months, while KASPA is actually at a higher low than what it was at about a month ago. So compared to Bitcoin, I mean, percentage-wise, maybe you dropped more yesterday. Let's see, 7%. That's more than Bitcoin, sure. But from a chart perspective, you actually held up better, structurally speaking, than Bitcoin did. So with that in mind, that does give me a little bit of hesitation in calling for lower prices. But if we didn't have any of that going on, any comparison to Bitcoin at all, and to be completely fair, it might not be fair to compare this thing to Bitcoin. KASPA moves up if Bitcoin moves down. KASPA moves down if Bitcoin moves up. They can move up together, they can move down together, but KASPA largely does its own thing. So maybe it's not fair to associate them. Assuming that they're not associated, if I was looking at this chart and it wasn't KASPA, it was any chart at all, and I took a relative high to a relative low and I saw that you found resistance at your 382 like this, there'd be no doubt in my head that this would be the most appropriate thing to do. Take a low here, go to your high there, and then expect these extensions to hit. What we're talking about is 6.5 cents, 5.5 cents, and potentially even something as low as 3.6 cents is on the table. I don't think that you go to 3.6 cents. I don't think you go below 5.5 cents, at least not right now. Inevitably, you're going to go lower than all those. Inevitably, KASPA will see prices lower than 1 cent, probably. In the height of its bear market. I think that it has more bull market to go. I think that it will grow from here at some point. It'll see higher targets than this at some point. I do think, and I think I might be the first person, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I am the first person in all of crypto to say that this was the all-time high for KASPA. I was calling for that back here even in November and October. I was calling for it. I called for it down here. And then even as we moved up this whole time, throughout the whole entirety of it, all of it, I was still sticking with that being the all-time high. I up here, admittedly, was like, you're looking like you might prove me wrong. I was saying that, right? But I was like, it's not yet. You haven't done it yet. And I'm like, I'm holding out until it happens. I'm like, because until then, all you're doing is finding resistance at the 886. Breaking above it was good, but rejecting below it only confirmed, right? We didn't get confirmation. I remember actually literally that day I was saying, you need another day to grow. You need to get confirmation. And then the next day you rejected. This is why you need confirmation. And all I'm trying to say is, I do believe that the bull cycle is over for KASPA. I don't believe that it has no more growing to do in the crypto bull cycle. I think it's got more growing to do in the overall crypto bull cycle, but I think that its bull cycle is over. So understanding that, just be prepared, right? Anytime, any lower prices, whenever I talk about you recovering to higher prices, they're not going to be anything crazy. It's not going to be like what KASPA did throughout most of its existence, right? Throughout its whole history. Like you look at this chart and it just did crazy things. You're not going to see that until the next bull cycle. When is that? I don't know. KASPA started its bull cycle technically it actually started, I'm pretty sure, in May of 2022, whereas Bitcoin didn't start its bull cycle and therefore the rest of crypto until January of 2023. So you started it a whole half a year and beyond earlier. Could you start your bear market earlier? Yes, I think so. Could you then end your bear market earlier? I think so too. In which case I am looking to invest in KASPA whenever it comes time for the bear market to be over. Let's actually talk about that real quick because I'm sure some people are like, how low is it going to go? Statistically speaking, you can do this yourself, right? If you have TradingView, everybody can have access to TradingView. It's free. You go to TradingView, pick out any crypto you want. This is how certain of it I am, right? Pick out any crypto at all. Bitcoin even, right? Any crypto that's ever existed in history. Look at their first bull cycle. And any crypto that's existed at least for one bull cycle. If it's a new crypto, then obviously this wouldn't apply. But any crypto that's existed in history that's had one bear cycle, they all drop over 90%. They all drop over 90% in their first bear market. I don't know about you guys, but your whole power law BS that I was saying was BS from the beginning, and now it's only validating what I've been telling you for freaking months. I'm not trying to celebrate it, man. I feel bad because I know a lot of people got caught up here, got caught as bag holders. They really did, and it's unfortunate. But a little notion to the bag holders, and you might not like this. You didn't like me when I was trying to tell you back then. You're not going to like me when I'm telling you now. But 90% drop, just so you know, you've already seen a 65% drop. And you might think, oh, good. That means we only have 25% more to go. But that's not true, right? Like a 25% drop from there, you know what that is? 25% drop from there is there. That's a 25% drop. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a 90% drop overall, right? 25 more percent here looks like this. Goes all the way down. No, it's not over. Boom, there's 90% right there. That's at just below 2 cents. The average crypto, not average, every single damn one of them in their first bull market, except for stable coins, unless they get hacked. Shout out to UST on that note. High to low, they don't actually drop 90%. They drop like 94% or more. That's the average. And again, you might think, oh, 90% to 94%, that's not that big of a difference. It's just 4%. Well, let me show you. 90%. Quite literally, it's just above this area, right? So we'll put a line just above. That's 90% right there, okay? 94% is all the way down here, right? That's 94% right there. It's a big difference. 2 cents to 1.2 cents. That's a big difference. That's about almost a 40. I think that is a 40% difference right there, almost, right? Let alone if you drop more, and you could drop more, because again, if we look at these lines, a 90% drop, which would be on the shallow end of what I would expect, it doesn't really make sense that you'd find support there. You could, but it doesn't really make sense. To me, what would make sense is these support areas here, something like that. Okay, so a little bit past 90%, I could see you finding support at about 1.5 cents to 1.2 cents. I could really see that, and I probably will buy. I said below 1 cent, but it's been a while since I've looked at this. It's not below 1 cent. It's below 2 cents that I think this thing's going. It could go below 1 cent. If it were to go below 1 cent, it would probably stop right here at about 0.009771, right there at this previous high. And if it didn't stop there, it would go all the way down to this shelf right here where this high and these lows were. But either way, you can't escape it, guys. Prices below 2 cents are coming. They're not coming now. It's not going to be a straight dumpster fire to the downside. Maybe, you never know. My assumption is that KASPA moves lower here. You probably find support around 5 to 6 cents, probably somewhere in that area, and then you continue to move up. You'll have this kind of. It'll look like you ever draw seagulls? You ever draw seagulls like on a napkin when you were a kid or something in art class, right? A seagull. Right, like that, right? They've got it's going to look like that. That's my thoughts. You're going to have a big old seagull here, and then that'll really kick off your bear market. I don't even know if CAS was officially in a bear market yet. It's possible it could be, and I think as time goes on, it'll be more obvious. I think you ended your bull market really back here, and you're in this crab market now, this distribution phase. It's very clearly a distribution phase now. You can't really argue that. And I'm assuming that with the rest of crypto, you probably do pump, but you form some kind of less long-lived, it's not going to be a very significant consolidation phase up here. Something that's in this zone, nonetheless, it'll be a lower high, and then you'll really start your bear market off, I'm assuming, with the rest of crypto. If not, then I'm wrong, and you're starting your own bear market now, just as you started your own bull market here, and maybe you just keep going down. But I would assume even if you do keep going down, there will be moments of recovery, right? I do assume we probably see prices that are above 10 cents again before the end of this crypto bull cycle. But we're at 8.5 cents now, looking like we want to go lower. Absolutely, we're looking like we want to go lower, you guys. You can't deny it. You really can't deny it. Yeah. Bullish divergence, but no, it's not. It's actually not bullish divergence. In fact, what you're in is a very serious downtrend in the daily RSI. Every time you get overbought, it's lower highs. Every time you get oversold, it's lower lows. 4-hour time frame here. You might be due for a little bit of a bounce. Hey, look at that. You got some bullish divergence. And I was thinking you might be due for a little bit of a bounce because of how well you held up from a chart perspective versus Bitcoin. Here you've got you've got a downward sloping trend in your RSI. Why can't I think of that? A downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Yeah, you do have bullish divergence here. In fact, it's actually a very powerful signal on the 4-hour. You've got double bullish divergence. You've got a higher low and then another higher low. That's double bullish divergence with the lower low and the lower low there. All that move calls for is a move that's back up to about 9 cents. You're at 8.5 cents now, so that bullish divergence goes away once you get above 9 cents. And in fact, you could move all the way back up to 10 cents and then find resistance from here. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You might even move up to these highs or even beyond them. But make no mistake, my friends, you cannot escape the reality. You're going lower. And actually, I don't think you go above this high. Because again, and now that I'm remembering how I started this video off, if we take the relative, was it this relative high? I think it was the overall high. This high to this low here. Maybe it was like the overall high. Yeah. high to low there. Yeah, you're finding resistance at the 382. That's never a good sign. The fact that you found resistance at the 382 and you're going below the 236, it's just a matter of time before you likely do see prices that are below 6.5 cents. I think you go to 5 to 6 cents personally. 5.5 cents is a nice area to find support in my opinion. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, man, I think you're going lower. You're even below this 236, and this is your most shallow retracement so far. So, yep, I got nothing else for you guys. It is heartbreaking to see. I feel like most YouTubers, in my experience, whenever they talk smack about a crypto and it finally goes down, they're like, haha, I told you, suck my D. And I'm just sitting here like, it's nice to feel right. It's nice to be vindicated. But I wish I was wrong. I really wish I was wrong. I wish you guys were the ones telling me to SMD right now, because I genuinely feel for you. I know a lot of people invested in this coin throughout this whole time. And the reason why you invested in it is because of all the fundamentals. I want you to understand none of those fundamentals have changed. KASPA is a good project. It's going to come back. If you wait years, you're going to see prices that are dramatically higher than these prices. KASPA deserves, I think, to be a $100 billion market cap or even more than that. I really do think that it deserves that. But nothing sees $100 billion in its first cycle. Nothing does. Ethereum and XRP did, but you know they're Ethereum and XRP, and they certainly did not have a multi-thousand X growth beforehand. You know what I mean? I think that you've had your bull cycle, you've had your fun. It's time to come back. This is clearly a Wyckoff distribution phase up here, and with that, you tend to get some pretty powerful downward movements out of that. So I would expect something like this promotes an overall drop that's greater than 90%, something that will likely take you below 2 cents. When that's going to happen, I don't know. It's going to happen between now and the end of 2026. So it could happen. It could happen this year that you're down at those prices. It could happen next year. I really don't know. I don't know what the path will look like, but I can assume it's downward sloping from here on out. And then after 2026 is over, probably some point in 2026 or later this year, I will be buying. I definitely will. I can't wait to buy KASPA. You think about it, let's put it at 2 cents. I think it's going to go below 2 cents. Let's say I bought at 2 cents, but I think it will go below there. To get back to its all-time highs, that's a 10x right there. If it goes all the way down here, is it going to stop at its all-time highs? Hell no. It's going to go way higher. You're going to break through $1, buddy. You're going to break through $2. Those $5 targets you guys are talking about, they're going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see a multi-100x from those targets down there. You're not going to see it from here, though. That's all I'm trying to say. I have the utmost faith that KASPA is going to make me and a lot of people money when the time comes. This weekly RSI sucks. The daily RSI sucks. It all sucks. Bobby C isn't here talking smack anymore. It's terrible. It's a sad time, guys. I got nothing else to say. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I don't know what just happened with why it just came down, but I'll figure that out later. Bye-bye.